What I was gonna do was I was just gonna film this and turn it into one of those fun edits that those you know, the really big just successful YouTubers do, but I kept filming hours at a time of nothing happening and realized, yeah, I'm not designed for this. This is not, I'll never edit this. I will never get my shit together enough that I can edit this into a video. Even though I realize that mostly what they do is I did this, and like those Ox videos for Fallout, I walked into a cave. There was a guy. I'd love to shoot this gun right now. I miss shooting stuff already. It's good to change it up, but damn. I really like early game Borderlands, and I'm calling this Borderlands. Get out of here with this is a separate IP. Holy shit, it's Tiny Tina. What are they talking about with that? Also, these stories, they're neat, but I mostly just turn them off out of my head because none of it matters. It's a Dungeons and Dragons. Tiny Tina's making this up. None of it applies to anything. And like sometimes they want you to not take the story seriously at all because like she can't even come up with the names for stuff in the DLC. It's called missing name. I'm not even sure if, I don't think that's actually a missing asset. It probably isn't, but I don't know, man. I really like the gameplay. I'm just not sure about the direction. Let's spin to win Wrath. See, every time I do this, man, every time I'm gonna think Wrath, I'm gonna think Battleborn. So I'll tell you right now, it's like sometimes once in a blue moon, get a hankering for McDonald's, whatever your favorite fast food joint is that you know you shouldn't have, and it's too damn expensive anymore anyway. And the line always is out to the freaking road post-pandemic. But it's gotta have it, man. Something for me, that's Big Macs. Sometimes I just gotta have a few Big Macs. Just gotta need them. Large fry, couple Big Macs, Coca-Cola. That's like comfort food for me. That's what the hell was I gonna... Battleborn would be right now. Battleborn would be like comfort food. If we could just like queue in, I'd go live right now, regardless. Even if grandma's like, hey, I have an angina and need my nitroglycerin or I'm gonna die. Like, I'm queued into Battleborn, baby. I'm just kidding. I go up and help her, but the game was nice to stream too, because had a good pace to it. It's easy to read chat, easy to take little breaks. I'll probably die here. Imagine doing this one life only run as well. He died. What the shit? He died. Where's the save, bruh? Where's the save? We must now make 55,000 episodes of this with commentary. 1,000 ore and core dynamite blasting. That looks fun. Insane melee damage. Huh? I have heard people are generally sleeping on melee damage. I'm just thinking I gotta level and get geared for it to really start popping off or something. But if I focus this, if my nephew doesn't come this weekend, because it sounds like he's not gonna be able to stay, I wonder how far I could get this weekend. Can I do this while doing other shit? Like if it was just record, I could definitely do it in a weekend, but to edit it would take me probably 2.5 years. I probably still want to be back to streaming. I'd still be missing deadlines and apologizing. I think people are already over it, so it would hardly matter. You know, it's like there's like 2 people left. Grandma hitting PT, PRs, and me. Oh man, let's put on. I've been watching a show lately, 6 Feet Under. Can I watch a show and do this? Kind of doubt it. We still haven't found the goblin loincloth. Holy God. Look at that troll. They really went hard on the anuses in this game. Like, let's make everybody should have 2 visible rotund butt cheeks. These Let's Plays really need some sound effects too. I gotta figure that out. I probably need an external soundboard to make it work. In this episode of punching stuff, see, we went from digging and astroneer to now we just circle around and punch stuff. And see how I've even turned aim assist off. No matter what, it is just gonna lock in onto the torso. That guy just didn't hit back for some reason. He's like, I feel bad for you. Not shooting stuff in a, excuse me, a Wonderlands game. New IP after all. New swag, new merch, new movie. It's a whole new thing. Gonna make a lot of money. Fortunately, it's only multiplayer games that really make the bank anymore. I guess Elden Ring sold pretty well, but I guess Apex Legends made like $2 billion last year, but then Genshin Impact is making $1 billion every 6 months, something crazy like that. Just insane numbers. Where the hell's the loincloth? Oh. See, that's what we need. A bump, bump, a bump. Whammy, fail horn. Oh, now we gotta kill some more goblins. It'll be worth it. Every level will continue to motivate me. So because we're having to make a unique build. We're changing things up. It's supposed to be a little goblin that spawns. It's like super stinky. These, everyone's like, whoa, you can slide into them now. It's great. It's wonderful. Okay, it is cool. But you know what? Go ahead and just cut out the middleman then. Why not just have chest automatically open as soon as you're near then? Let's just go ahead and take it up that last notch. I don't see the harm. That's better for me if I just go ahead and unequip guns because I really don't want to risk it. There'll be no breaking of the challenge. See, that's how I live now. Look at this little... 6 Feet Under was out in the like early 2000s, and they used the what is now known as the F word a bunch. And there's a lot of commentary on like homosexuality and Christianity and stuff, and like that show was seen as like really liberal and really like progressive, and whoa, they're like really drawing the line. And by today's standards, it's like super conservative and even backwards. It does like victim blaming. The characters, that's what they'd call it. I'm not saying that's how I take it, but the one mentally ill character, he does like crazy shit. They're like, oh, it's just an illness like anyone else. Like, oh yeah, this is really like where we're at with this stuff too. But then he starts doing insane things like Buffalo Bill. He has Brenda's boyfriend Nate. He leads him through this Bioshock-esque, when you get to the part with the plastic surgeons like modify people's bodies with animal parts, it takes it through this grotesque photography thing where he's like, look, me and your sister, and takes his own suicide and stuff. Like, yeah, that pretty much is stigmatizing mental illness. So I'm pretty sure manic depressants don't do that kind of crazy shit, even though they can get pretty crazy. I understand. I thought that was more like a schizophrenic or something. I don't know. Hell, I just know that it's the way that we're supposed to portray them is now different. And like the homosexual characters seen as really progressive, but these days it would be seen as both backwards and progressive, because it's backwards in the sense of the one character wants to be very quiet about his homosexuality, and he's not necessarily like, a big part of the show is his coming out. It would be not seen as progressive enough in the sense that one of the things that kind of irks me about the writing is that the gay characters never do anything that doesn't involve their being gay. They're apparently not people outside of their sexuality at all. There's never a plot point that has to do with like them as human beings. It just has to do with their sexuality. But That's probably something people are like, yeah, it's fucking A right. No, they're still like human beings. Like, they can't be the only thing going on in their life is sex problems. But it's fine. It's a good show. Definitely slowly but surely been getting into it. The show that I don't like, but I can't stop watching, and I think it's annoyingly popular, and it probably has no right to be, is that Adam McKay Showtime Lakers. That show, they let Adam McKay have way too much creative freedom with that show, and it moves so damn slowly. When they get to the basketball and they get to the characters, and I love the acting and stuff, that's all good. I really am enjoying the acting in that show, how they portray Jerry West, Dr. Buss. But they do these recaps every time. They take like 10 minutes, and they're only like 47-minute long episodes already. And you can't just binge it. It's once a week. It's taking them a very, see, this is like super challenging. The only way to do it, I'm sorry to say, is we do have to shoot a gun. As long as we don't kill anything. There's no other way to get over this. I've found that out the hard way. The actual plot of the show moves extremely slowly. They'll take a lot of really unnecessary detours that aren't subplots, just like B-roll. And they do a lot of stylized, like, look, you're actually in the 70s. It's got the, like, crazy super color, what was that thing they called? Like, Intella whatever. You know, they have that special colorization stuff in the 60s. So everything looks really bright. But at the same time, like, the colors stream and there's a lot of blurriness, and they got the 80s thing going on. They do a lot of, like, it's found footage, you're really in the 70s, and a little bit of that goes a long way. And there's way too much of that and not enough story. And it's cool to get into Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and get into Magic Johnson. And the way they portray Larry Bird, it's just a joke. Like, yeah, there's a lot of, like, racial stuff you can dig into, especially with this being the modern day and that being something that people discuss often, and it's a part of the zeitgeist and yada yada. And sometimes they do a really good job at that. Like, in the first episode, they show Larry Bird, and they're describing him because they're like, this is a great rivalry between Bird and Magic, and they're both basically equally skilled, great basketball players. But then the way they are described on TV is Larry is like super, and he has great vision on the court. He's a hyper intelligent basketball player. He's remarkably hardworking. And then they describe Magic Johnson like he's as strong as an animal. He's a fine physical specimen. He's as strong as a gorilla. And in the screen, they superimpose this text on the screen. It's like white with Larry, and then black with Magic. Like, I get what they're doing. There's definitely like racial undertones, racist or not. There's definitely the undertone there of these men are fundamentally different, regardless of basketball skill, but in the race that they occupy. And a lot of it is actually that Magic isn't impacted by that as much, like his dad was, and Kareem definitely is. But Magic is just like loving life, making money, smiling, grabbing up corporate sponsorships. He's not a politically motivated player, and that alone splits his support in the NBA between people who think that you need to, like Kareem feels, hey, you need to stand for something, make a difference in whatever you believe in by using your stardom. And Magic, who basically just thinks, hey, you know, I'm going to make as much money as I can while this ride continues. If I'm a superstar, I'm going to bank on it. So cool. Like, obviously I'm talking about it. I'm interested in it more than me just sitting here wondering about Wonderlands in life. But then that'll be like the episode. That'll be it. And the plot will not have actually advanced any. And the cliffhangers tend to take up the last 15 minutes of the episode, just setting up the cliffhanger. They show Paul Whitehead as just incompetent. Other times, though, I think that they do a great job. Like, I really enjoy the Pat Riley. I think is like, well, you know, I consider like him one of my heroes. I love his saying, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And They do these really cool cuts with Pat Riley as he's developing into a coach and continues to want to be in the league, where he's like combing his hair back. Then his dad, who was a semi-pro baseball player but washed out, will be like in the mirror and he'll be like totally emaciated and hard, and you get that sense it's like, oh, it's Pat Riley, what he'll become. Like, you know, this guy who looks like he's been in the trenches of both world wars. He's got the mafioso like thing going on with his hair, just like hard as nails, tough SOB. Those shots are really cool because it is a historical piece and showing like where these players, who these people would become and where they came from. And but other times they go way too hard on the politics, and they go way too hard on the 70s 80s stylistic B-roll choices. Like, they do so many montages and so much B-roll in that show. I keep watching it just because I think that the sports and the history is interesting, but you got to go through a lot of BS just to get there. And they do a lot of, like, not just race. There's obviously a lot of commentary on race. They literally portray Larry Bird as like this backwoods, inbred hick. Like, they're super upset about how America portrays race and looks at race. But when it comes to Larry, you know, he's all but marrying his cousin. Whereas everyone else, you know, in the Lakers, they're all basically Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. combined, navigating a tragically flawed world, and God bless them for being almost superhuman in both their athletic ability and intellectual feats and ability to. It's just kind of hokey. Like, in the whole Celtics-Lakers thing, they literally cast that whole rivalry as just racist. Whites versus blacks. And it's good to present that part of the story. It's a necessary part of the story to tell. But to make it the centerpiece of every single scene, every episode, every minute, just ignores the basketball. And that's kind of the point. If you're going to make like a Boston Lakers rivalry and the development of the NBA, the development of the superstar with Magic Johnson and Bird, especially interesting. You know, it's good to dig into that stuff with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, because he's a cool person. He's an intellectual. He's a basketball legend. That's definitely stuff that he had strong opinions on. Dig into that stuff with him. That's perfectly cool. But they do a lot of dramatization, I think. And that's me offloading my commentary, because I've listened to this same side quest about 7 times already. It was pretty funny the first time I did it. Tucker and I laughed. We giggled. Now I just do a lot of walking around. I see Jerry West is like suing over it. He hates his portrayal in the show. But he's the best part of the damn show. And Dr. Bus was really good too, but then they started being like, look, aren't men disgusting? Look how fat he is. Look how corpulent he is. Look how opulently he lives. Look at these women. Isn't he a brute? You don't know. Holy shit. What about the basketball? Like, we've already gotten over the fact that Dr. Bust clearly liked women and liked to drink and liked to stay out late and live his life the way he wanted to live his life, but holy shit, what about the basketball? Well, Adam McKay is one of those directors. I didn't realize that a lot of the movies I like are from Adam McKay. He's one of those directors, when he's really good, he's great. Like, this is one of the best damn guns in the game. It's too bad I'm not gonna get to use it. Like, there's scenes in The Big Short when they get into that like real estate park in Florida and they're like witnessing the real estate bubble crashing before it actually happens. I thought those scenes were like genius. The way they shot them, the way that they did the coloring, the way they did the editing. It was just like, wow, this is really on another level. I think he did the killing of a sacred deer. The scene where that story really starts to come into its own when the kids are pleading for their lives and trying to convince the dad to not kill them. And like that scene, man, where the son is like, I've decided I want to be a surgeon. It's a noble trade of only the most talented medical professionals, and I did my chores early and I watered the plants, and the kids are like walking on their hands and their knees are all bloody and stuff. Like that's when it's like, wow, yeah, this is good stuff right here. This is hitting really hard. Other times it's just like, holy shit, get to the story now. We got to get to the plot at some point. But you know what? It's easy to criticize. At least he's making shit. I'm recording fucking Wonderlands videos on a Friday afternoon, evening, whatever. Getting my ass shot off and talking about things that tend to alienate viewers. At least he's making shit. There was a time, like these Let's Plays of 100% usually become therapy sessions, because what the hell else am I going to talk about? Literally just whatever's on my mind, say aloud. That's the skill. That's the job. That's all it is. When I first started streaming, when I was like writing and streaming and editing and just did it all the damn time. Now, fuck, even this is just like a challenge, both to find like the time for it, but also, I'll be honest, the want. That's the biggest fear I have, is like, do I even want to do it? And if I don't want to do it, what the hell? I got to do something else with my life. I got to figure my shit out quick. Got to figure this character out quick too. I put the skill points. I think I just went into the same stuff though, right? Get closer and do more damage. Yep. So at least we'll have like 3 levels to look forward to here at some point in the near, not too distant, whenever future. At the end of this episode, go get Grammy dinner, and then hopefully we'll be good for a few hours here. See if I mentally stay good. At least the rain's finally coming down in earnest. I'm glad I got the garden started. I do wish I would have got the cucumbers in, though. They could really benefit from this rain. I need a trellis, though. I'm not going to pay a whole bunch of money for literally wires that plants grow on. With inflation, not shite is cheap anymore. I need to unequip the spell too, because I'm so tempted to put a spell out there. Oh no, it's just an ice block. Oh, big thunder. Big thunder. Oh god, there we go. I checked out my streaming stuff though before I started recording. Everything was looking good. I had done a lot of prep work in the week before. And I left one job undone, which is I was making a LUT. Why am I using that? I bought that thing and never equipped it. Dope. Whoops. Okay, I think when we went down a sub or gained a sub, 185, dude. If we hit 200, we're on the journey to 200. If I hit 200, I'll be pumped. I will be pumped. Let's get this to 200, baby. Let's suck on Pandora's bi-weekly therapy session into the room alone on a microphone, 6 o'clock on a Friday. Let that lead us to 200 subs. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Going places, doing things, making it work, making it happen. Go get her. Berserker, melee damage, there we go. Got the money, no doubt about that. Let's see, I want to know what skills those are. I gotta remember, it's the ice thingy and the skull. Guess it's not too hard, but still, I wish there was a better way. I mean, yeah, not bad. But I'm good. None of this shit matters. See, they cut out the fat. They let you just sell the junk without even going in here, which is cool, but, you know, it's like a little thing. Just let us sell the shit off the ground then. That's a good episode right there. We talked about plenty that alienates most people.